So this is for Integrated 3, Chapter 2, warm-up number 2. For those who need help. So on this first one, when you're looking at it, we always want to ask yourself, can we factor something out? Can I factor something out of a 3x squared and a 98? And when I see that, I think I can factor out a 2. And when I factor out a 2, I'm going to be left with a 16x squared minus 49. Now, can I factor that further? And this, again, just like the other day, is going to be a difference of 2 squares. 16x squared minus 49. So I am going to have my 2. And then I'm going to ask myself, what is the square root of 16x squared? That's going to be a 4x. One of them is going to be a plus, one of them is going to be a minus. That's how it always is for difference of 2 squares. What's the square root of a 49? 7 plus 7 minus 7. So 2 times 4x plus 7 times 4x minus 7 is our answer. On B, again, can we factor something out? I notice a 9, a 21, and a 60 all have a 3 I could factor out. So I think I'm going to factor out a 3. And I'm going to get a 3x squared plus 7x minus, and then I'm going to factor out a 3 and get a 20. Then I want to take a look at what I have here and see if this is factorable. I still have that 3 in front, so I cannot forget about that 3. So I am going to do a box to diamond. I'm going to put my 3x squared here and my negative 20. That multiplies to a negative 60x squared and is going to add to that 7x. So when I'm trying to think about things that multiply to 60 and add to 7, I can list things that multiply to 60, 1 and 60, 2 and 30, 4 and 15, 5 and 12. Okay, so that looks like that's going to be giving me a 7. So I'm going to have a positive 12x and a negative 5x. So positive 12x, negative 5x. And then I am going to try to figure out how I get that 3x squared. So the 3x squared is going to be a 3x and an x. 3x times 4 gets me the 12x. X times negative 5 gets me the negative 5x. We need to remember we had the 3 in front, and then we still have our 3x minus 5 and our x plus 4, and that is our answer. On C, I notice that I can factor out a 24 from both of those. So I'm going to factor out 24, and then I'm going to get x cubed minus 1. This is one of those differences of 2 cubes. So remember, if it's a cubed minus b cubed, I'm going to get a minus b times a quantity, a squared, plus ab plus b squared. That is the formula. So I am going to have the 24. Now, when I am doing this x cubed minus 1, I'm going to get the cube root of x cubed, which is x, minus the cube root of 1, which is 1. And now I'm going to have my binomial. I'm going to take this x, I'm going to square it. This is a minus, so this is going to be opposite. I multiply my x and 1 together, and I get an x. I square my negative 1, and I get a 1. And that is our answer. On number 2, 2a, I am going to factor something from 12x cubed and 30x to the 5th. And that is going to be a 2x squared. I can factor from both of those. Actually, a 6x squared, because 6 goes into 12 and 6 goes into 30. I need to take out the most possible. And it's not an x squared, it's an x to the third. Okay, x to the third, 6x to the third, times, I'm going to be left with a 2 minus 5x squared is equal to 0. Now, I cannot factor 2 minus 5x squared anymore. So when I'm going to solve this, I am going to work this out and take 6x cubed, set it equal to 0. I am going to take 2 minus 5x squared, set that equal to 0. And when I solve this, I'm going to get x cubed is equal to 0. And when I take the cube root of 0, I get 0. Over here, I'm going to add 5x squared to both sides. I'm going to divide by 5. And then I'm going to take the square root of this. And when I take the square root of this, I am going to get a positive and negative square root of 2 over square root of 5. Now, we want to rationalize. We do not like to have a square root in our denominator, so I'm going to times the top and bottom by root 5. And so my answer is going to be plus or minus root 10 over 5, along with my x equal 0. And on this last one here, what we're going to do is we are again going to see if we can factor this. Let's see if it's factorable. So if I put my 7x squared here, my negative 6 here, I want to see if there's something that multiplies to negative 42x squared and adds to a 19x. And factors of 42, 1 and 42, 2 and 21. So I'm thinking that's going to be the one I want. So it's going to be a 21x and a negative 2x, a 21x and a negative 2x. And then I am going to figure out the outside. This is going to be a 7x. This is going to be an x, plus 3 minus 2. So I'm going to have a 7x minus 2 times an x plus 3 equals 0. This is going to be 7x minus 2 equals 0, which means 7x will be equal to 2. X will be 2/7. That's one answer. And this one, when I set it equal to 0, I'm going to get x is equal to negative 3, and that's going to be another answer. And that's the end of this video.